Today, the Deputy Secretary of Agriculture, Kathleen Merrigan.
Meet the Farmer TV is made possible by Planet Earth Diversified, Melli Productions, and Leslie P. Jenkins Photography and Graphic Design. Culpeper's Channel 21, helping to preserve the agricultural history of Virginia, and
In the Kitchen magazine, serving the community and everyone who loves good food.
I used to feel like it was an uphill battle, and now the interest around sustainability, local regional food systems, it's the rage.
From arugula to zucchini at the White House.
Save the family farm.
In the kitchen.
The end, the bill passed.
It's about preserving some semblance of the family farm.
And for locally grown food.
It's about market access.
Plants don't have personalities. I got one.
I call it the new American agriculture. And our whole agriculture education system is going to change.
We have a great solution to some of these crises that we're now facing.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching
Meet the Farmer TV.
Hello, I'm Michael Clark, your host for Meet the Farmer TV. Let's find out where we're going to get the next generation of farmers. Programs like Farm to School and School to Farm, some way to bring young children into the love of growing and becoming farmers. Let's talk to Dr. Kathleen Merrigan, the Deputy Secretary, and find out more of what's up about Farm to School and the next generation of farmers here on Meet the Farmer TV. You've been working for years, like decades, on environmental issues, and you were like the science advisor for Senator Leahy?
I was indeed.
Tell me
but now
about
my
that.
issues are hip. I used to feel like it was an uphill battle, and now the interest around sustainability, local regional food systems, it's the rage.
Yeah.
I mean, local food is hot. It's one of the hottest trends, if maybe the hottest trend they've seen in decades in the food sector. My joke is, I used to go to parties and people say, what do you do for work? I say, I work in ag policy. And all of a sudden I'd be alone with my gin and tonic in a corner of the room. Now I say I work in ag policy and people say, cool, wow. Tell me more about it. I want to learn more. So there's this opening of a window now for a conversation about American agriculture that I haven't seen before in my professional life.
That's great.
It is really
And we've
great.
got a hip president, so everybody's really hoping something's going to happen.
And a hip first lady.
I have never seen so many people so excited about fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, and she has a garden.
She has a garden. I've been there many times. She's
Really?
doing a lot with that garden. And I was actually at the White House on St. Patrick's Day, and the Prime Minister of Ireland handed the First Lady some shamrocks from Ireland for the garden. So it's got international buzz.
That's terrific. Are we going to have farmers in the future, or are we just going to buy it all from China?
Well, the average age of farmers in this country, farmers and ranchers, 57 years of age. And we have this huge upsurge of farmers over the age of 75 because we're not growing young farmers in the way that we need to. And so it is a concern, and we think that we have to start educating kids at a really young age. So I'm very interested in farm to school. I'm also interested in school to farm.
So you want to actually bring the schools to the farm and have the kids learn on site what growing food really is?
Well, my own research with my doctoral student at Tufts University, where I was before I came here, found that children who engaged in garden-based learning did better on standardized science tests, had better environmental awareness, and here's the kicker, had greater willingness to try and actually consume fruits and vegetables. So it's not an add-on to the school day, an extra burden for a school to take on school gardens, for example. It's actually a benefit. And so bringing the agricultural experience into the school and also bringing kids out to the farm is really an exciting thing. I brought kids from inner city Boston out to a farm, and I was so excited to show them where their food comes from. What was really interesting to me is some of these kids had never been on a highway before. So the drive to the farm was exciting. We've got a lot of hills to climb.
So there's really a lot of science in the farming, especially here at Virginia State University. We've got hydroponics, we've got development on these plants, and these plants are headed to the High Tunnel Project, which is a special funding, and that's EQIP funds, right?
Environmental Qualities Incentive Program, EQIP. It's a program that's been around for a while, since the 1996 Farm Bill. and different practices are cost shared with farmers. And this year, because of our strong interest in building local regional food systems, we added a practice that farmers could cost share for high tunnels, or in my part of the country we call them hoop houses. But these raspberry plants are going to go outside, and the farmer is going to be able to extend the season. So the plant can deal with the cold weather, the tough weather, longer on. And that's going to help us keep local produce in our different areas around the country. It's a great new offering. Farmers have gone by droves to the local NRCS, Natural Resources Conservation Service offices to get this cost share availability.
That's pretty exciting. Now, what's going to happen when there's so many people looking for a little piece of that money? Is there going to be enough money there? Everybody seems a little nervous now about that.
Well, there's never enough money, and I think people are surprised. Some people are surprised at the popularity of this initiative. I'm not surprised. And I think that the Congress has put a lot of money into conservation. Conservation programs are really important because we need to reward our farmers and ranchers for their stewardship. The urban resident needs to understand that our farmers and ranchers are land stewards, and they need to be guided and helped and supported in those efforts. So I don't see our conservation programs, even in tough budget times, being ratcheted down. I think that's the future. And so I'm not worried about that.
Well, that's terrific. Well, it's really great to see that you and as a representative of the Department of Agriculture really recognize the importance of the future. It's been a real concern for a lot of farmers because growing houses was the only profitable thing to do with the land. Oh,
I was on a farm up in Wisconsin on Friday last week, and it was a real struggle. The land is about $7,000 an acre if it's in agriculture, and if farmers are willing to sell it to a developer, they're going to get $15,000 an acre. So the question is, how do we get young people into farming? How do we preserve that farmland given that kind of scenario? It's tough, and we as a country need to grapple with this. Not only people on the land, but also the folk that I work with at USDA. 50% of our employees, 50%, half, become retirement eligible in the course of this administration. And so I'm wondering about succession planning, as we all, and I'm not speaking about anyone in particular, get gray hair. Who's that next generation is going to come in and fill our shoes? I want to get people excited about coming to work for the Department of Agriculture, the People's Department. It's a great place to be.
That's really interesting that through growing plants, something we think of as just so basic, it actually improves math and science skills.
It really does. And I think we have a lot of USDA programs that are there to help. They may be exercised in different ways than they've been used before, but within statutory authority, within existing budgetary resources, we can do a lot. For example, the Farm Service Agency has a farm storage facility loan program. You can use that for cold storage. Group of farmers, you can extend your season, you can make it easier to do farm to institution sales if you have cold storage availability. I don't know how much that program has been used that way in the past, but it's certainly there for the offing. So we have a lot of things like that, and part of my mission as deputy is to get the word out to various constituencies about these programs, these myriad of programs that we have that can help. This is the year for the Child Nutrition Reauthorization Act. The Congress has just this month in March dropped legislation in, so the discussions are really beginning in a big way. And so we provide a lot of information about what a healthy diet is and how we can do better, both to the President and to Congress.
And how do you think we're gonna kind of tie this all together, that it helps the SOLs and the kids in school to actually get them out to the farm, and it's not just a pick a pumpkin field trip or something?
Well, I think one of the things we need to do is develop more empirical data on the value of that experience. When our study was published in a peer-reviewed journal last year, I think it was one of 6 or 7 such studies. I think instinctively we all believe that an experience in the garden makes a difference. An experience going to the farm makes a difference. Well, you and I believe that. I'm not sure everyone believes that. And sometimes you need data to back up your instincts. And so we have a pilot program on school gardens that's about to be unveiled, and hopefully we can contribute to the scientific literature and make the case stronger to the policymakers who ultimately decide the fate of these issues.
Well, I guess the biggest thing is really just getting the kids excited about it, you know, to have them all so happy that they want to learn something.
Absolutely. You know, everyone reads Old MacDonald Had a Farm, but reading and seeing and doing, very different levels of engagement.
Yeah. So that's what you're really working on, is trying to engage the kids then.
That's one of the many things I do as deputy, but it's not least among them. Well, our focus really is on rural development, revitalizing rural communities, growing domestic markets for farmers and ranchers. That's what we talk about. We talk about the flight out of rural America. The economic times have been really hard in rural America for years, decades really, and per capita income is lower. So we see the local regional thing as a way to revitalize rural communities. So we're not so much talking about national security. I know some people do, but when I'm on the beat with Secretary Vilsack, that's our real focus.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for this interview.
And so at Virginia State University, we're committed to producing things in unique ways, to make sure that food is accessible to local and regional audiences, and we really want to educate a new generation of people about agriculture. So thank you so much for being here.
You guys are doing great stuff.
And we appreciate Meet the Farmer TV and making those important connections with folks across the state of Virginia. Thank you.
Thank you.
So here we are with the jewel of the land-grant university.
Yes.
Everybody introduces you as everybody wants to see Dr. Jewel.
And I'm honored, thank you. And here we are more at the jewel of our university at Randolph Farm. We call this the jewel of Virginia State University. This is where the latest in agricultural research and production methods. This is where we test all that out here at Randolph Farm.
Now tell me, what is really the mission of Randolph Farm? It's not just like scientific research or lab stuff?
It has several missions. Really, it's the focus of where we do the scientific research that backs what we say to change lives across the state. We test it here first. We test production methods. We test different ways to fertilize things, to grow things. We have different ways that we grow things, and that's where we test those here. And we fine-tune those production methods because that's how we educate farmers. But also, this is a learning lab. This is a place for not only for students to come and to really put into practice what they learn in the classroom, but we also connect with the community through Randolph Farm. We love for people from the community, whether they're young people, whether they're schools, whether they're teachers, whether they're seniors. We want them to come here and learn about agriculture and the latest research and work that we're doing at Virginia State University. So this is really a community connection. It is a community connector.
Community connection.
We've got the finest students. Let me go on record and say we've got the finest students in the state of Virginia and in the country.
Hi, Brittany.
Well, I am a senior here at Virginia State University. I'm an animal science major. Currently, I'm working on doing internships as far as like FSIS, APHIS, Disney internships, and then when I plan to graduate, I just want to work with marine mammals.
Ah, so did you help raise some of these fish?
No, I wish I could have though. I was kind of afterwards.
Yeah? Well, that's interesting. So what kind of marine mammals would you be working with?
Mainly dolphins. I just want to work with dolphins.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool. A lot of people like to swim with dolphins.
They're so cool. They're so smart.
Yeah. They're probably smarter than we are.
I think they got us beat.
They're probably down there going, what are you guys, you know, it's getting kind of acidic down here. Stop doing that.
You're right. They probably are.
Yeah.
We do a lot.
My name's Trevor Gibbs. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm an environmental science major. I actually work out at the farm now with a hyperpoplar tree plot and actually grow some of the ginseng that we had here today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, do you do the ginseng under the poplars, or?
No, it's actually growing out on its own separate plot. It's out in our environmental reservoir. And the hyperpoplar tree plot is actually beside that. When I grow the trees, it's for biomass research and production. Biomass is an alternative fuel source. And we use that, we actually grow it as an experiment. It's experimental. So it's actually not in use, but we grow the ginseng to actually control the growth rates of the ginseng proportionate to other ginseng in other places, just to see how well it grows. That's kind of what I do. I'm an environmental science major. I kind of do geographic information systems. I do a bit of soil sampling, test the soil on the farm. That's about it, generally that kind of work.
So what do you hope to do with this knowledge?
I actually want to be a natural resources manager. Manage natural resources, crop production, water, soil quality, air quality, land use.
Now, where would you go for a job like that?
National Resource Conservation Service, USDA, LUESA, Land Use Environmental Services Agency.
So some of the agencies that are speaking to us today?
Yes, of course.
All right. So we'll come back next year and you'll be up there giving a presentation. Hey, we'll be writing grants to you.
I wouldn't be surprised.
All right. All right, Trevor, I want to make sure we're good friends with this guy. We're going to do a grant with him next year.
Jason Powell.
All right, Jason.
I'm a textiles apparel merchandising management major, which is basically fashion, but it's a little different. It's not just like design and merchandising.
Is it like shearing the sheep and doing the twine, the yarn, and
we learn about stuff like that too, like textile sciences. I could be a textile chemist with my degree, or I could be a fashion designer with my degree. It's pretty kind of broad, but I kind of like it like that because I'm pretty. Broad on everything.
So you may be like working at DuPont or something, making textiles and having a garden in the back for the next new fiber.
Right.
So cotton got a future in Virginia?
The weather is too crazy. Yeah. It has to be specific.
Go to Georgia.
Really, really hot. Like sometimes. So
everybody wants that organic cotton. Yeah. So what are unusual fibers that we wouldn't really think of that would be happening here?
Right in Virginia, they're actually like doing research at DuPont on fiber that's grown from peanuts.
Peanuts?
Yes, it's really weird. I was like, how do you do that? But like, I don't know as much about it right now, but I heard about it. I was like, I have to find out about this. It's pretty weird. I was like, how do you do it from peanuts? But they're trying. So.
That's gonna be some great recycling. You just put some jelly on it, eat it, and you don't have to throw it away. All right.
I'm Chris Harrison. My major is family and yes. I'm a family and consumer sciences family education major.
Okay.
I'm a senior and I'm from Sussex County, Virginia. And
so that's like how to take your little tiny paycheck and actually feed yourself.
How you manage your budget, how do you take care of family, how children develop, basically anything that deals with like children and families, I'm in that major. I'm in that area. Yeah, and like how to like prepare a healthy diet on like a small budget, stuff like that. And like how to like budget your checkbook, anything like that.
Right.
So basically,
do people actually do that? I thought they could just wait for a letter from the bank, like, you don't have any more money.
Yeah, some people do, but
that's not the way to do it. All right, Maurice, you're the student that couldn't get away, right?
That's right. I'm, well, I graduated, but I'm still here and working on my master's degree at Virginia Tech College of Ag and Life Sciences with a concentration in Ag and Extension Education. I hope to one day be a academic advisor, be a professor at a university. My mom actually works at Virginia State, so that's probably one of the reasons why I want to come back and teach. I love the classroom setting. I love the atmosphere. I love extension. Extension and the School of Ag has done numerous a lot of things for me. It has put gave me the opportunity to be in situations where I never thought I was going to be. With being with the School of Ag, I get to travel to Orlando, Florida, Walt Disney World, go to conferences. That exposure is just off the chain. Yeah. And I love it. I love it, and I want more of it. And I'm going to continue my education so that I can be the next Dr. Jackson or the next Dr. O'Day. That's where my heart is.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I hear Annie Hankins drives all day just to do an hour speech somewhere.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing.
Oh, that's terrific. Well, we look forward to seeing you again next year, Maurice, because you're never going to leave now.
Never going to leave.
You'll just get the suit on eventually.
Right.
Then you get the gray beard. And,
yeah.
All right.
I'm going to grow mine out.
Maybe they'll even let you retire.
Hopefully.
I don't know.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I hear the president's retiring, so there's an opening.
Mr. Shelton.
All right, Shelton. Yeah.
How you doing? How you doing? I'm Sheldon Watkins, senior from Richmond, Virginia, ag business major. I currently work out at the farm in the aquaculture department too.
So what's ag business? That's like how to find some more money so you can keep farming?
Something like that, or it's using your resources to make the most profit of what you have. That's how we see it, as taking a little resource that you're given to make the biggest profit out of it.
That can be kind of tricky sometimes because you don't know.
Tricky, especially when you have going against the weather and other natural disasters. That's why they had a great programs out there for like the insurance to help the farmers when they lose their crops and everything.
Yeah.
So it's but I lean more towards the extension side. I can't be in the office pushing papers all day.
Yeah.
So that's why I like extension work. It's kind of best of both worlds. I can be outside and also have the inside job.
Yeah, isn't this great? It's middle of March. We're out here in the sun, and you know everybody else is in there in a computer lab or something.
I don't like that. I'd rather be outside.
Well, that's good. All right. Well, we're going to come back and talk to you more and find out how to make some money. We know how to spend it.
Over here.
We're trying to figure out how to make some more.
You got to have it to spend it.
That's right. Well, we're doing it the other way around. If we spend it, there's a vacuum, and then some will have to come in.
You got to pay up people.
Yeah.
Ronald Howell.
Ronald Howell? All right. So what, you just chase them until they do it right?
No. You birth the potential that they each have inside of them, and you reach out to them, and you send them out, and you cultivate their minds for learning, for growth, and development. And that's what makes the difference, I would say, in the new student leadership that Dr. Harrison talks about. Since graduating from Virginia State University in the fall of 2009, I have since rejoined the United States Department of Agriculture after having a 2007 summer intern. I worked with the United States Department of Agriculture Farm Service Agency in 2007 to administer farm programs to ranchers and producers across America.
So you actually went to the farm?
I went to the farms, yes sir. And now, since rejoining, I am in County Operations Management, where we work with all of the 41 USDA offices across the state of Virginia to talk to farmers, ranchers, producers, and just community citizens and tell them about the programs that are offered by the United States Department of Agriculture and the Farm Service Agency. It is imperative today in society that we prepare today's students to be tomorrow's leaders. And the way we do that is that we let those students of today be the leaders of today to get them ready for tomorrow.
Right. So instead of just showing them and then letting them loose later on, actually give them some real experience doing it.
That's exactly right. That's what we call contextual learning, as Dr. Harrison says.
Contextual learning.
We get them out there. We get them exposed. We get them to those opportunities. Maurice talked about going and traveling to Orlando, Florida, and to Walt Disney World, and to conferences and meetings, and getting that exposure and how that is so off the chain. Well, those are the experiences that students will recognize. Those are where they will network and get their future opportunities. It was those experiences that were handed to me when I came here as a student that has helped me propel into my career since leaving the university.
That's terrific. Well, that's wonderful. So all of you guys are all part of this today by participating and following up these evaluations and working with the people here. Right. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you for your time so
You
much.
bet.
Thank you.
Krista, right? Right, Jason, Trevor, and Brittany. Thank you very much. And you're watching Meet the Farmer TV.
This is going to be like church. Now, there are plenty of seats for all of you Baptists in the back that want to stand against the wall. Now, I say that as a card-carrying one, but there's seats up front. I promise, well, I don't promise that. I got ready to say I promise not to have an offertory, but in these budget times, missing an opportunity to raise money is not doing my job. So I'll forget that. But I am here, my duty, my task for today is to introduce the Honorable Dr. Kathleen Merrigan, the Deputy Secretary of the United States Department of Agriculture.
We need a focused strategy that will make a difference, particularly to young people, and make clear to them that there actually is a bold future in rural America for them and their children. The average age of farmers and ranchers in this country, 57 years of age. 30% decline of farmers under the age of 25. 30% decline, and a 20% increase in the number of farmers over the age of 75. We need to find ways to ensure young people have the ability to take over production of the nation's food supply in the next half century. We've got to keep rural America strong, to keep agriculture strong, and keep the nation strong. We've created this new USDA initiative I'm sure many of you have heard about, Know Your Farmer, Know Your Food. You can say that the Know Your Farmer, Know Your Food initiative is a kind of toolkit for USDA. It holds many of the programs that USDA employees will discuss today. Like this conference, the initiative is practical and hardworking. And I'd like to give you an overview of this initiative, highlighting certain programs that hopefully are helping Virginia farmers. So the initiative is really focused on reconnecting consumers with how their food is produced, with the farmers and ranchers who grow their food. And not every family needs an accountant, not every family needs a lawyer, but every family needs a farmer. And then our tagline is, do you know yours? Really trying to facilitate ways to reconnect. We're also really focused on what people are eating. What I like to call the nutrition paradox, where we have childhood obesity and we have childhood hunger. We have nearly 18% of children in this country are food insecure, and the obesity rate is all that, we all know how bad that is, and there's no better spokesperson on this issue than our First Lady, Michelle Obama, whether she's hula hooping at the White House or planting in her garden or being on the cover of Newsweek magazine. She's an incredible force. The Child Nutrition Reauthorization Act is this year. It's a big moment in time where we'll decide the dimensions of our school feeding programs and the Women, Infant, Children program, the WIC program. And one of the things that I'm really close to in that whole domain is the farm to school effort. Now, farm to school is a great idea. Great idea. Hard to do. And at the same time, when we talk farm to school, I always like to couple it with school to farm. So if we know that average Americans don't know enough about where their food comes from, we need to start getting at them really young. And I used to think, oh, this is a myth. People think their food comes from a grocery store. And then I worked in urban Chinatown in Boston, and I was working with third graders in a school in Chinatown. 80% of the kids were from families below the poverty line. And I started a garden-based curriculum in the school because our research found that children who have that experiential learning actually do better on their science scores and standardized tests, because the third, fourth grade, a lot of it's about plant science. They had better understanding of environmental issues, and their willingness to try and their actual consumption of fruits and vegetables increased. After we sort of unveiled the Know Your Farmer initiative in September last year, and I immediately got an email from an old colleague of mine who said, Kathleen, I love everything you're doing, really exciting, about time, but let me tell you, it's not so easy to get into all these grant programs that you're talking about. For the average farmer, it's a nightmare. And certainly I know that, having survived some of those grant programs in my days at Tufts University, getting through to the other end and being successful is a hard thing to do. One of the things the Secretary has charged me to do is to develop this concept of a virtual university, where we have we have Annapolis for the Navy, and we have, a lot of our military, we grow up people. It's like, why can't we have a virtual academy at USDA and start growing a workforce that represents the demographics of this country, who are the best and the brightest, who will take over when all of us with gray hair go away. So with that, thank you very much.
Today on Meet the Farmer TV, we have seen all sorts of things from NRCS, United States Department of Agriculture, Cooperative Extension, efforts to make farming viable here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Well, there you have it, another episode of Meet the Farmer TV. Thanks for joining us for another Meet the Farmer TV. And please let each of our underwriters know you appreciate their support bringing you Meet the Farmer TV. Check out their website and tell them personally you appreciate their support underwriting Meet the Farmer TV.
Meet the Farmer TV is made possible by Planet Earth Diversified, Melli Productions, and Leslie P. Jenkins Photography and Graphic Design. Culpeper's Channel 21, helping to preserve the agricultural history of Virginia, and In the Kitchen magazine, serving the community and everyone who loves good food.